guys for being here tonight. We're so excited. We have a couple business items that we have to do because the laws tell us we have to do it. So give us like 2 minutes and we'll get all that done. And then we are excited to hear from you. All right. So I would like to call this meeting back to order of the Madison County School Board at 7:04 p.m. And would some of my board member friends please read that certification statement, one of y'all?
Certification of the closed meeting, whereas the Madison County School Board has convened a closed meeting on this date pursuant to an affirmative recorded vote and in accordance with the provisions of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and whereas Section 2.2-3712 of the Code of Virginia requires a certification by the school board that such closed meeting was conducted in conformity with the Virginia law, therefore be it resolved that the Madison County School Board hereby certifies that to the best of each member's knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempt from open meeting requirements by law were discussed in the closed meeting to which this certification applies, and only such public business matters as were identified in the motion convening the closed meeting were heard, discussed, and or considered.
All right, we have a motion. We need a second.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Ms. Patterson, will you call roll, please?
Mr. Marks?
I certify.
Mr. Sheets?
I certify.
Mr. Wingate?
I certify.
Mrs. Wood?
I certify.
Mrs. Collier?
I certify. And the next thing we're going to do is say the Pledge of Allegiance. So be careful on those risers. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Great job, guys. That was loud and proud. I know, right? You want to lead us in that all the time?
Good job.
All right. And now we will have a moment of silence. Okay, thank you very much. And take it away.
All right, we have a very special guest this evening. The Mini Mountaineer Theater is going to share some songs of their upcoming production. If you guys can maybe guess what that is, any guess by these cute outfits? They're doing 101 Dalmatians, and they are under the direction of Miss Mitchell, Miss Dickey, Miss Pearson, and Miss Almont. So thank them for being here, and the floor is all theirs.
That was awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Without a doubt, you're the best part of the evening.
So you can see their show on January 30th at 9:30 in the morning at the high school with the staff and students, or at 6:30 p.m. and on the 31st at 6:30 p.m. as well.
Sorry, y'all. When kids come hug you, you gotta take the hugs. I'm sorry. And adults. Okay. I knew that was gonna happen. They came running, so I had to go. All right. That was adorable. Absolutely adorable. All right, here we go. So we have to complete our reorganization. And our next agenda item is to elect an officer or elect a representative to be on the Piedmont Regional Education Board. So I will open the floor the floor is open for nominations for the representation to the prep board of the Madison County School Board for 2025.
Can we talk real quick, just kind of just to talk real quick to see who
Sure.
wants to do what of these 5 things that
Absolutely.
kind of end up as a fair apportionment. What do you want to do as the chair? There are five things here. There are 5 things here.
Like,
so
like if we
divvy it
each
up
pick
equally.
one?
Yeah, maybe so.
So there's usually a representative and an alternate most of the time, yes.
So for each one of us,
So
there's one
each
primary.
one of them. For continuity's sake, I'm fine to do the prep board. It is in Charlottesville, they meet in Charlottesville. It's easy for me to get there. It makes Anna come to Charlottesville, but she would come anyway, whether I was there or not. And they are gonna be going through some change, so I think their wish is for
That's
me
what I was gonna say.
to continue
important.
to be the prep board. I'm the chairman there as well. So
Do you want me to just go ahead and nominate?
that's fine. But who wants to be the second? Who wants to be the alternate? If
I
I'm
mean,
not?
I was the alternate this year, but
Okay.
I mean, I know for each trying to pick
We
one.
just
but,
keep
yeah,
that.
I mean, I have no problem
Just
staying
keep
the
that there.
alternate. I didn't have to do it.
And then like who does somebody want to do the Blue Ridge Governor School primary? Are you
I'm currently doing it.
you like it, Brian?
I do. It's help expedite their meetings.
So you'd have that. Anybody want to be the alternate to that?
Where does that
I think
mean?
I'm currently alternate. As you can tell, I don't do too much with it.
It's okay.
Where does that mean?
Sounds crossroads.
I'm happy to be the alternate to that. I can
Is
get
that
there
it?
easy.
Okay. So then you do the alternate for that one. And the next one would be.
CIP.
Are you happy
I
to
think
do that?
Charlie does
Charlie's
such a
good at
great
it.
job at that.
I'm
Like,
so good at it.
You are good at it. Thank
you
you.
were so good at it, like.
You are a blessing.
He understands it.
You really are.
And the thank yous just go right to Stacy Timmons.
I'm the
man
current alternate. I'm happy to stay that way, the alternate. That's fine. Okay, with
I thought-
everybody?
Okay.
Oh,
that's
Nita
fine.
wasn't.
Oh, you alternate?
I think I was the alternate for CIP, but
Well, I mean,
it's
we're each trying to
fine.
take one.
If I'll take Blue Ridge, you take CIP. Yep.
And then board, the supervisors,
So
I'm
that's-
that now.
Are you okay with keeping
I'm
it?
fine with doing it, unless
Are you-
somebody, unless somebody wants to do it. I'm
Well, you
happy to
can,
give
I mean,
it
it's,
all.
it's you and me now. We're down to the two of
You're
us, so
right.
it's this,
Usually
and
two.
I don't mind doing the VSBA stuff either. Like, I mean,
Yeah, so usually the chair and the vice chair does the VSBA stuff.
well, I think I'm the alternate for the VSBA.
Are you the alternate
Yeah.
for VSBA?
Like,
Well, who is the
Nita's.
rep for?
I don't.
Nita's
So you would go
You
for
are.
that. So Sue, really, it's up to you. I'm happy doing the board of supervisors. If you'd like to, I'm happy to give it to you.
I mean, if Nita's gonna keep doing the VSBA stuff, I'll be the alternate to the Board of Supervisors because I'd like to see how you do the things
So I'll
before
keep
I
primary,
do.
I'll keep the primary that.
Yeah, and I'll just do.
And Nita is the representative to the VSBA. I'm happy.
So we'll
to
have
do
to be
that.
an alternate delegate, there will have to be an alternate delegate, just in
Oh.
case I don't go,
I would
but,
not.
I was gonna say, I don't mind going, like, I enjoy doing it too.
Do you
and
have an
I-
alternate yet, Greg?
I don't, no, so it's,
Yeah.
so
Sue, do you have one alternate?
I have two alternates
So
now.
why don't you do that, Greg?
do you go to the fall conference?
I'll go to fall conference.
Yeah, so I encourage somebody to go with me to, VSBA delegate we only get one vote, but you can, watch
Sure.
to see how it is.
Okay.
I encourage you to go.
Okay.
All right, and then we're doing clerk and deputy clerk like we always have. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Okay,
All right,
so we will finish the,
Can we agree on all these at once and then just do it as proposed?
I think we have to.
I have to say it like
read
this,
each
don't I?
one.
do I
Yeah.
have to read it just like it is? Okay, I have to read it just
Okay.
like it is.
So you already opened for nominations.
So I've already opened nominations for a representative to prep.
I nominate Nita Collier for the representative for prep. Then you read.
Any further, Anita Collier has been nominated to serve as representative to prep. Are there any further nominations? If there are no further nominations, I hereby declare the nominations closed. The vote will now be taken. Those in favor of Nita Collier for representative to prep of the Madison County School Board for 2025, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed say no. The ayes have it, 5-0, and Nita Collier is elected as the representative to the Piedmont Regional Education Program. Do I have to say congratulations?
Congratulations.
That was kind of weird. So the floor is now open for nominations for the alternate representative to prep of the Madison County School Board for 2025. Do I hear a nomination?
That was, so it's
Me.
you, okay.
I nominate Sue Wood.
Sue Wood has been nominated to serve as the alternate representative to prep. Are there any further nominations? If there are no further nominations, I hereby declare the nominations closed. The vote will now be taken. Those in favor of Sue Wood for the alternate representative to prep of the Madison County School Board for 2025, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. The ayes have it, 5-0, and Sue Wood is elected as the alternate representative to the Piedmont Regional Education Program for 2025. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Okay. Now we will vote on the representative to the Blue Ridge Virtual Governor School Board. The floor is open for nominations of the board's representative to the Blue Ridge Virtual Governors School Board for 2025. Do I hear a nomination?
I nominate Greg Marks.
Greg Marks has been nominated to serve as the board's representative to the Blue Ridge Virtual Governor School Board. Are there any further nominations? If there are no further nominations, I hereby declare the nominations closed. Bless you. Those in favor of Greg Marks as the board's representative to the Blue Ridge Virtual Governor School Board for 2025, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. The ayes have it, 5-0, and Greg Marks is elected as the board's representative to the Blue Ridge Virtual Governor School for 2025. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now we will vote on the alternate representative to the Blue Ridge Virtual Governor School Board. The floor is open for nominations for the board's alternate representative to the Blue Ridge Virtual Governor School Board for 2025.
I nominate Chris Wingate.
Do I hear a nomination?
I
Huh?
Needs
I'm
to
gonna
be
do
done.
Governor's School.
I nominate Nita Collier.
decline your nomination.
I nominate
Good
Nita
job.
Collier. Because you're right there too.
Nita Collier has been nominated to serve as the board's alternate representative to the Blue Ridge Virtual Governor School. Are there any further nominations? If there are no further nominations, I hereby declare the nominations closed. The vote will now be taken. Those in favor of Nita Collier as the board's alternate representative to the Blue Ridge Virtual Governor School Board for 2025, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, 5-0, and Nita Collier is elected as the board's alternate representative to the Blue Ridge Virtual Governor School for 2025.
Congratulations.
Thanks. This is so odd and how, like, I don't know, anyway. Now we will vote on the two representatives to the Capital Improvement Plan Committee, CIP. The floor is open for nominations of the board's representatives to the CIP committee for 2025. Do I hear nominations? We can do both of these at the same time.
I can't remember who the second one is. I nominate Charlie Sheets and Chris Wingate.
Charlie Sheets and Chris Wingate have been nominated to serve as the board's representatives to the CIP committee for 2025. Are there any further nominations? If there are no further nominations, I hereby declare the nominations closed. The vote will now be taken. Those in favor of Chris Wingate and Charlie Sheets as the board's representatives to the CIP committee for 2025, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. The ayes have it, 5-0, and Chris Wingate and Charlie Sheets are elected as the board's representatives to the Capital Improvement Plan Committee for 2025. Do we need to do alternates, since we already have two? Okay. I was just reading like a robot. Okay, our next one is to vote on the two representatives to the Board of Supervisors. The floor is open for nominations for the two school board members to serve as representatives to the Board of Supervisors for 2025. Do I hear nominations?
I nominate Chris Wingate and Sue Wood.
Chris Wingate and Sue Wood have been nominated to serve as the board's representatives to the Board of Supervisors for 2025. Are there any further nominations? If there are no further nominations, I hereby declare the nominations closed. The vote will now be taken. Those in favor of Chris Wingate and Sue Wood as the board's representatives to the Board of Supervisors, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed say no. The ayes have it, 5-0, and Sue Wood and Chris Wingate are elected as the board's representatives to the Board of Supervisors for 2025. Congratulations. All right. The next item is the delegate and the alternate voting delegate for the November 2025 annual VSBA conference. The floor is now open for nominations for two school board members to serve as a voting delegate and an alternate for the VSBA Delegate Assembly and Regional Meeting of the 2025 VSBA Annual Conference. And you see there in red that tradition is chairman and vice chairman, but we can do whatever we want. Do I hear a nomination?
I nominate Nita Collier as the delegate and Greg Marks as the alternate delegate.
Nita Collier as the delegate and Greg Marks as the alternate delegate have been nominated to serve as the voting delegates for the 2025 VSBA Annual Conference in November. Are there any further nominations? If there are no further nominations, I hereby declare the nominations closed. The vote will now be taken. Those in favor of Nita Collier as the delegate and Greg Marks as the alternate voting delegate for the 2025 VSBA Annual Conference in November, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. The ayes have it, 5-0, and Nita Collier and Greg Marks are elected as the delegate and alternate voting delegate for the 2025 VSBA Annual Conference. Congratulations. All right, the next one is to vote on clerk of the board. The floor is now open for nominations for clerk of the board of the Madison County School Board for 2025. Do I hear a nomination? It has been Liz.
I nominate Liz Patterson.
You're here.
Liz Patterson has been nominated to serve as the clerk of the board. Are there any further nominations? If there are no further nominations, I hereby declare the nominations closed. The vote will now be taken. Those in favor of Liz Patterson for the clerk of the Madison County School Board for 2025, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. The ayes have it, 5-0, and Liz Patterson is elected clerk of the board. Congratulations. All right. The next item is Deputy Clerk of the Board. The floor is now open for nominations for Deputy Clerk of the Board of the Madison County School Board for 2025. Do I hear a nomination?
I nominate Tina Crop.
Tina Kropp has been nominated to serve as Deputy Clerk of the Board. Are there any further nominations? If there are no further nominations, I hereby declare the nominations closed. The vote will now be taken. Those in favor of Tina Kropp for Deputy Clerk of the Madison County School Board for 2025, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed, say no. The ayes have it, 5-0, and Tina Kropp is elected Deputy Clerk of the Madison County School Board. Congratulations. We are organized, with the exception of these advisory committees. So we can do this all in one full sweep, is that right?
Does anybody want to change?
Yeah, is everybody happy where they are?
If y'all are happy, I'm happy.
We're good. Let's see.
If anybody feels like
Okay.
they're doing
I
too
don't think
much,
we-
I never feel like I do enough.
I make a motion to stay as was previous year.
all those listed.
So just say this.
Approve school board representation, representative to serve as the advisory committees listed below are current committees for 2005 and may they to carry over.
Yep, perfect. We have a motion, can we do it that way? We have a motion
I second.
and a second. We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. All right. Those are your representatives on the advisory committees. I gotta remember what I did. Special ed and, okay, got it. All right. Personnel matters for January 15th, 2025 to include resignations, retirements, substitute appointments, substitute reappointments, and coaching stipends as presented. I will open the floor for a motion.
Motion to approve personnel matters for January 15th, 2025.
We have a motion, we need a second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, no. Motion carries. We have we need to approve the release from compulsory attendance for religious exemptions for students 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17 as presented.
Motion to approve the release from compulsory attendance for students 13, 14, 15, 16 as presented.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. We don't have any names, right? Sorry, I didn't say that. Okay.
Nice.
Then we have our consent agenda. And that is, we'll need a motion to approve the January 15th, 2025 consent agenda as presented.
Motion to approve the January 15th, 2025 consent agenda as presented.
We have a motion. We need a second.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any noes? Motion carries. The next agenda item is public comment. We welcome public comment. Anyone that would like to address the board, please come to the podium, speak into the mic, say your name and where you are from in the county, and let us know what your comments are. Anybody want to comment?
This is all crap.
Tell us how good it is. All right. Board members, do you guys have any comments? Okey doke. Business approval. Ms. Graham?
Yes, we have a band trip proposal, and we usually do like information and then approval, but the proposed band trip is in April, so similar to when the FFA went on a trip, they need to present tonight and get approved so they can fundraise and things like that. So we appreciate if you would skip the information part and listen to them and hopefully approve.
Okay.
Okay, all right. Mr. Coates?
Let's go.
Good evening. Thank you for taking this time to hear my plans for this spring trip. I've got a couple packets here. If anybody would like them, I can bring them over. Just a little bit of information. I printed out a bunch of extras. But I don't want to clutter your desks if you don't like them. So it's not the most organized thing in the world, but at least the back page has some information on the show I'll be talking about that might be most useful to you. I'll go over that. Like this. Just hit this back. Thank you. I can pick those up when I'm done, so you don't have to hold on to them. So proposed trip for April 25th and 26th of this semester for all music students who have taken music classes here at the high school. The goal of the trip is for students to observe and engage with music in a new and entertaining atmosphere, and for students to see the connection between the foundation of our country and their music-making experience in Madison. It's a kind of a big statement, but essentially, marching band is a big part of the music experience here at the high school, which I'm very grateful for, but it stems from a tradition in military music making. And that's what that show is about, that Saturday evening show called the Virginia International Tattoo. I included a language disclaimer just to be safe. Right. It has nothing to do with tattoos. It's a different thing. So I thought that might be important to mention. It just means like a big show involving military drum corps, bands, fife and drum corps, so on and so forth. That's kind of what this trip leads up to. So the goal, starting with the trip to Busch Gardens on the Friday, I like doing a little music scavenger hunt there. There's lots of music around that park, both recorded, playing through speakers. There's also many different live music opportunities for students to kind of float around and pick those up as they go in a way that's kind of entertaining. I really like the idea of sending students out somewhere to have fun with each other, but also kind of encouraging them to open their eyes and ears and be aware of what's going on around them so that they can, you know, make observations, say, oh wow, there's music happening over here, let me pay attention to that, and I'm gonna have a little assignment that goes along with that. We'd spend a Friday night at a hotel close by to the Busch Gardens in Williamsburg. Second day, we would head over to Norfolk for the International Tattoo. On the way, we would stop at the American Revolutionary War Museum in Yorktown. I thought that would tie in kind of the history of why we're going to go see, because the International Tattoo, over 1,000 performers you can see on that last page there. So if a student just goes to that, they're like, what the heck is going on? There's a lot of people here, there's bagpipe corps, and like all these things going on, so I would like to kind of tie it in and say, look, like this is how it started for us here in America. And then after the Yorktown Museum, we would stop at the Chrysler Art Museum, which is in Norfolk. I just like to include more forms of art. It's always a great opportunity. Chrysler Art Museum has art from across the world, but also great American art as well. So all these things tied into the United States, as well as you know, the rest of the world, and all the things that influenced the United States. So that would all lead up to our trip to the International Tattoo at the Scope Arena in Norfolk. There's a quick itinerary on the second page there, but essentially says what I just said, just a little more detail on the time that each of those would happen. Now, the cost is one of our, you know, big concerns, obviously. Expecting to have to charter a bus due to transportation concerns. That bus would, I've been quoted, I asked for a couple quotes, and the one I found best, unfortunately, is, this one comes in just under $6,000. I've done some calculations here based on, I have 62 total students this year. I don't expect 100% of them to join on the trip, but I don't expect less than 45. I expect somewhere between 45 and 60. So I said 60 students, 8 adults plus 2 staff, myself and Cassidy Newman teaches the guard here. So that's 60 adults plus 8 paying, or 45 adults plus, 60 students plus 8 adults paying, or 45 students plus 8 adults paying, is how I've broken down this price here. Lodging, I was quoted $134 per room. That looked like my best quote. I got a couple lower quotes, but I didn't feel like those were the best hotels for our students. Busch Gardens tickets, Yorktown tickets, and tattoo tickets. Chrysler Museum is free, but those tickets are per, so the number of students involved doesn't affect that price. But the Busch Gardens ticket includes 1 meal, $70 per ticket at group pricing. Yorktown is $20, and the tattoo is going to come in around $20 as well. Total price looks like it will fall between $239 and $268. That does not include a couple meals in there, so students would have to also plan for that, and I'm considering having some options available to help them plan for that. The band boosters did not meet this Monday, but we will be meeting soon. We have one fundraiser lined up right now. It's a Little Caesars fundraiser. Students get $6 per pizza kit that they sell, and they can sell unlimited, theoretically, pizza kits. So that's one of our fundraisers, and we're planning at least one more on top of that. If we have time, we might do a third. We're not sure. The fundraisers generally run 2 weeks and take a little bit of planning. So that's how we plan to help students raise the funds, to try and not allow there to be too much of a barrier to come on the trip. All right, that was a lot of talking. I apologize. Any concerns or questions that I can help with?
I will say, as an Old Dominion graduate and a Madison County graduate, that I've seen everything you plan to go do while I was down there. I think it's a very worthwhile trip. As a former band student here, to go down to play at a park and have the opportunity to send some international environment with you, I think it's a phenomenal opportunity for our county. So
That's great to hear.
Definitely in favor.
Thank you.
The only question I have is, are you guys doing a spaghetti dinner this spring, and what date is it?
That
So I
is a
can put
great
it on my
question.
calendar, because
I wish I knew the date off the top of my head. I can't think of it off the top of my head. It's
Okay.
in April.
Okay.
I want to say
I
early
just wasn't
April.
sure if that was gonna be able to be calculated as part of this, or, I mean, but honestly, it's also what I do when it comes around, so.
Yeah, that fundraiser specifically does not allow students to fundraise to their individual accounts.
Okay.
That's a like group fundraiser for the band program to help with other costs.
My only question is, I am too in favor of this, but my only question is if there are barriers for students that are not financially capable, will there be additional help, or will the school help? We're not gonna turn anybody away. That's my concern.
Yes, and that's a great concern, and we do have a scholarship, we have allotted scholarship money in our booster account. It's not an enormous number, but it can help with some student equipment costs or whatever comes into play during the course of a year with a student involved in band and an expensive activity. So yes, we have some scholarship funds available if a small number of students need some assistance. We're also pretty good about managing payment plans and extending payment deadlines and stretching payment plans out to allow, like I've got parents paying very, $5 to $10 a month, and see if you can get that in by the end of the year or that kind of thing. So we are very flexible. We're not,
Awesome.
Okay,
we try to
perfect.
be considerate.
If a kid really wants to go and they don't have the ability, I would not want to tell them no.
And we do have some funds set aside from donations that we're giving that the school could definitely take in.
That's fantastic.
Money would never,
That's
should
right.
never hinder a child.
Agreed.
I
Okay.
just remember we actually got a check in recently for the scholarship account specifically, so that actually, we do have more on that account than I thought.
Perfect.
And then, like, if everybody does go, because I feel like the transportation cost is the only thing that's really gonna go up if everybody
Yeah.
actually actually says yes, like, do you think it's gonna be okay if you have 70? Like, how much will that?
Yeah, there's some space concerns, with the charter bus. Planning on taking 2 vans in addition to the charter bus to account for that, which should work out. And then, like, if we have maybe two parents can't fit on the bus, they'd probably be more happy to drive, anyway. And so we would then just allow those parents to drive, as long as we have some, a set number of adults on the bus for supervision. In general, I think we could manage.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Anybody have any other questions?
Motion to approve?
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Noes? Motion's approved. Have fun.
Thank you very much.
Come back and tell us how it is.
I will, thank you.
Yep. Or have the kids come back and tell us how it
That'd
is.
be more
Yeah.
cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, bring them back in May.
Would y'all like me to collect these, or I don't know if that bothers you to have the extra paper?
If you need it to help promote,
Yeah.
I'm just asking so y'all
Yep.
don't have extra paper.
And keep us posted on fundraising.
All right,
Okay? I'll buy some pizza, kids.
that's great to hear, thank you.
I had just one comment about the band. Just want to thank you and commend you for this fall. Friday nights were great. It was an improvement, certainly a big improvement last, and the spirit of it of the band and the kids involved and everything. You did a really nice job in establishing that. And so just thank you and commend you for that.
I really appreciate hearing that, thank you. That means a lot. We've been working hard, thank you.
All right. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Okey doke. Reports. School board members. Mr. Shee, you want to begin?
So we didn't have our CIP meeting, the first week because of the weather. But, Dr. Timmons did send me, a message of kind of a couple things to bring up. One is the Waverly Owl, air handler units that are gonna be, we are gonna have to move forward with that. And along with that is the control system that talks to it and makes everything work. But some of that money that will be moved into the 2026 budget, so we're gonna have to come all out now. It's gonna be paid for down the road a little bit, per se. And he also mentioned to me that there is an engineering firm that's working on a contract to get on board to us to whoever comes in, best price. Press box down at the football field. Dr. Timmons and his staff are excited to tell us that they are going to fix that structure, and they'll get it fixed to the point where the roofing contractor can then come in and put the roofing material on. So that's going to save us some money. Those guys are earning their pay. We really appreciate it. But they had a couple contractors come out, and it was just pretty steep prices. So anyway, that's where that's at right now. I really don't think that's.
Just two kind of notes. I got to take advantage of high school principal in here. I know it's only day 2 of the cell phone thing. Any reports, any word back on how it's going in a short time?
I can actually say that we have sort of been laughing a little bit because it brings me back to being here in the 80s when I hear students at their lockers talking. And I actually made a video that I sent to Anna at lunch. It just warmed my heart because they were laughing and talking and giggling, and it wasn't quiet. And today we had to call for a student in there, and it was like they got so quiet, and then we realized it was quiet before, and now it's filled with laughter and joy. So far so good.
Yes.
Everybody's kind of on the same page with it. Everybody's being consistent, and that's what it takes for it to work. So, to my students, I love that they are following through, and to my teachers as well. So far so good.
All right, thank you. Good job, well done. Great thing. And the second thing I had was, I think it is my fault, I should have reminded, but I think our national motto, Bill of Rights thing, fell off for approval. Can we do it next month? Okay, so all right, thank you. That's all I have.
Okay, nope. I don't have a whole lot. That board's meeting Wednesday, and I should have an update next month on that. And
bus drivers and everybody dealing with our snowpocalypse. Like, I heard from a student this afternoon who was like, honestly, she was like, I can't get down my driveway to get to the bus. And so I guess she called in and she's like, please make it a verified absence because I can't get there. And she told me, she was like, it was done so fast. So like, just thanks to our school staff and everybody. Like, I know it wasn't the greatest thing in the world, but we're not used to 8 inches of snow in these parts. I also wanted to just shout out to anybody out there that's listening. The senior pancake breakfast is on Friday, and I'm gonna cry a little bit, I'm not even gonna lie, like, just because that's where I'm at in my life as a parent of a senior. But so I know that that's coming up on Friday, and some other cool things I know are just happening all over the place. And just again, this is like officially my 1 year on the board, so I just wanted to thank you guys because honestly, I've been with other groups and you guys are all awesome, so thank you all, and that's all I have.
Woo-hoo. Right?
I don't really have anything other than just being thankful for everybody following rules.
Ms. Grant, very quickly, we had to send out letters to our staff members and to families because our student information system, PowerSchool, did have a data breach. So the community was informed, and now we're just waiting to find out like if any of, well, we know it was some data, but don't exactly what data it was and who it affected. So we're waiting to hear that. And the letter, the contact Mr. Dotson, our director of technology, he's handling that really well. He's been in communication with our insurance company and with PowerSchool. So we're just, as we know more, we'll definitely get that information out to the community. And the other thing that came up a little bit during our lovely 6 days of way too much snow out, but some people have asked about like satellite stops during snow days. The last couple of days that we missed, especially the last day, it was just because of certain areas of the county and because the way the snow's pushed, and if you've seen these huge piles of snow, a lot of our buses turn around, and then you can't really turn around a bus if there's a big snow wall right there. So VDOT helped transportation on Monday clear the rest of those out of the way so that we could come to school. But some people have asked about just satellite stops. It would be hard to start that this winter just because we haven't given anyone notice, and I would hate to do that to families and be like, hey, we might just go to school and leave you all out. But it is something that we can talk about and work with Mr. Farnham, our director of transportation, and kind of get something written up and propose and see, because we have to decide like how many students is it that's effective when we decide to do satellite stops, and could their parents relieve and meet us there? So it's things to consider before we necessarily jump to that, but it's something to talk about because I know other counties do that. So.
On that note, does the 6 days, or 6 or 7, 6 days, does that impact us in terms of how many days in May type thing?
No, not yet. We bank time.
How many days?
Enough.
Enough.
Like 13 or 14.
Okay, so
probably.
plenty of
There's
time.
several.
Okay.
And we're still okay. I mean, we don't want to miss too many more before we really do need to talk about putting kids in school. They told me snow's coming next week. I'm just like, oh, let's not talk about it.
I think it's supposed to come on Sunday, where I don't know.
Yes, so I'll be melted over.
The only thing about the satellite stops that maybe, I don't know if this will help or not, but like even if we look at it for next year, like I know transportation sends their little booklet home, but maybe even just if you have a satellite stop less than so many miles away from your regular stop, could you make it, might just be a yes or no question on that booklet that might help to see whether parents can bring that on.
Okay.
Yeah, and I would like to just know like stats on what roads are historically impassable, how many turnarounds we have, how many kids live on those roads, that kind of thing. And I would, I mean, if we did go down that route, I would like to, create some sort of standard operating procedure around, if it's less than, I don't know, whatever this team decides, 10%, less than 15%, what is our number? What's that magic number?
I agree.
I would want to take a school day away from
3 buses turn around on my road.
So, just, how can we get all kids to school? Like, are there any other think outside the box kind of scenarios about getting all kids to school?
And the good thing for us, this was unusual these days, so
It is.
it's not something
It is
we have to
very
worry about too
unusual,
much.
so-
But we do think about flooding too, that comes up for us often, so.
So,
It'll
and
be
then
more like-
are they the same roads? Like, is that the same?
The biggest was on the meters, it's typically not, I don't think.
The picture, the Willis Ford Road, that's very similar.
So, I mean, northern part of the county probably had a foot.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it depends on,
Which
direction it's
it was a
going.
lot in Reba. We had a lot of snow. So.
And normally
just-
melts the next day.
Yes.
It doesn't stick around and freeze.
And we still have a lot of snow.
We have tons.
I think that's
So-
the big difference about this one, is that it just didn't melt. Like, it got so cold.
It's cold.
And
So,
People melt
next
back.
week temperatures are gonna be very cold, so we might have some snow on top of that.
Michigan people are
so
looking at
there's some
huge
European
cities.
models, but we'll be, yeah. Let's hope they're not right. Let's hope that they're not right. Huh?
The temperatures are supposed to be really low too.
I know. Yeah, and so it'll never go away.
It is really interesting because when I was working for Caterpillar, I did some training in Alpena, Michigan. That is all the way up at the very top of Michigan in the middle of winter. And when we left the hotel room the first morning of training, we drove over top of packed snow on all the roads. The sidewalks were the snow banks from the roads, and there were notches cut out for the kids to walk through the snow banks and get on the school buses that were driving around on at least 6 inches of like packed snow. And it was normal for them, they didn't care.
It's just the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, which was
The infrastructure is just so different,
Well, and they do a lot of like sanding the roads instead of salting them and things like that up there.
There was definitely not the same. Yes,
Yeah.
once it gets so cold, salt.
Yeah, I mean, just, you need the traction more than anything else, so.
Anything else? You good? All right, ready to?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Efficient.
Well, what we need to do is find